Hello everyone and welcome back to my playthrough/walkthrough of the Room series. Today we are going to complete all the solutions of the puzzles, of the clues to Chapter 2. Let's begin. These three seals stand between me and the contents of this box. So there's a keyhole symbol, a gear symbol, and an eye symbol. Now, if you look closely at the box, you can see that there's an eye symbol, a gear symbol, and a keyhole symbol right off the bat. But the first thing you have to do is look at the pillars and notice that one of them is kind of jutting out. So you click on it again, and that reveals a book. An ancient leather-bound book. The cover seems very ornate. Now, before we look inside this book, we've got to look inside here once again and notice that there is a symbol here, a kind of swirly symbol like we saw in the last chapter, surrounded by lines. Now, that correlates to this puzzle. And actually there is another one up here where it's in a different position, but that correlates to how there are 4 positions in here, and that was the symbol there, correct? Yes, it was. And the second position is the little swirly thing, so you put the little swirly thing here, and boom, you have two of the codes to that puzzle done. Now the next thing you have to do is see this rainbow kind of outline to this whole like code structure thing. The rainbow stuff usually means that you have to use your eyepiece, and then it reveals some things. Now, notice in the bottom left corner how it reveals another one of those symbols, this time in the 3rd position. It's like a snake. So before we do that, let's input that code in this. No, not that. And now, if you look at the top of the box, you can see the final code, this time in the 1st position. Kind of a circle with a line through it and 2 lines in the middle. So we look for that, and once we have all of that, we finally solve the puzzle and unlock a heavy cast iron key. Now, don't worry about this, because this isn't going to be used for a while, because we still have to do a whole seal before we can get this, before we can find a use for this. Now, anyway, there's numbers on the side of this box, and that correlates to the code you have to implement here. So there's a 5 on the left. So a 5 goes here. There's a 7 on the right. So a 7 goes here. Now at the top and the bottom's actually a little different. Instead of just outright telling you the numbers like the sides do, you have to make the numbers. So at the top, you have to make a 2, and so you implement a 2 here. And at the bottom, you have to make a 6. So you implement 6 over here, and it's open and there's a lever. You pull down the lever, and then boom, it unlocks the first box. Yes, there's multiple boxes inside this box. So, first what you have to do is open up this book. Remember this book I told you to wait to use? Now, let's use it. First of all, there's a little sliding puzzle. You basically have to turn these around for this to be able to move. Once this moves, it's now about to move this, which can open the latch, which has a note for us to read and a winding key. February 11th. My research continues at a snail's pace. With these barbaric instruments, I can barely read anything at all. But there is something there. Between earth and fire, between water and air. I cannot see it, but I can see its presence. Like the shadow of the object without substance, yet betraying the shape and form of that which casts it. It is the final element, null. It brings meaning to the rest, just as all the numbers of the world are meaningless without their zero. The circle are petty fools, blinded by their dark arts and their greed. Alchemy is not the pursuit of callow gold, it is the pursuit of this. So, it talks about the null again in this one, so the null is going to be a pretty prominent part of the story in other room games, including this one. So, what you have to do now is look at this latch on the side, you open this like so, and then you put the winding key in, and you naturally just wind it up until the gears start moving. But that's not all. There's also one leg that looks different here, and it looks like you can rotate it because there's things. There's like little spindles here. You try to rotate it and you unlock a short piece of cotton. It smells of paraffin. So what you can do to that is look at this. It says it smells of burning. There's a lighter here. So you put this here, you light it, and then it unlocks this thing. You pull it up, and then that happens. Now, one more piece in order to be able to unlock this. And that is here. Another one of these spindly knobs. You rotate this, and you get a miniature telescope. It doesn't really look like a telescope now, because it's not extended. You have to match these arrows up like so, and then it extends. And if you're a smart person, you can notice that your telescope goes on it here. And then it has this, which you can look inside of, and there's an old-timey thing here that doesn't really reveal anything. But then it says, I get the feeling there's more to that than I saw. Would the eyepiece reveal anything? So you put the eyepiece on, you look at the telescope again, and this time it says trial. And then once this is over, it unlocks this, which you have to use your eyepiece on and then reconnect or match up the demon symbol. And then after you do that, you get a brass plate with the letter L. And you go over to here, and you spell out trial. Like so. And then you put the L plate on here, and then boom, that retracts, and that opens one of the seals. One of the seals opened. 2 more, and I will be in. So, what you first do here is First of all, let's look at this note. It says it's the 2nd out of 7. The 1st out of 7 was in the book we read. May 8th, McAllister returns with the rubbings from Egypt. The pattern continues. The Tibetans call the null element space. To the Hindus, it is aether. And now, to the Babylonians, it is simply up. The other direction, the realm of Ishtar. Of yet more significance is the reoccurring presence of the hexagonal glyph. The same symbol repeated in cultures separated by countless countries in the span of the globe. Who will tell me now that this is idle superstition at work? When my hands had the first distilled sample, they will recognize me then. Presently, the skeptics have one more in their number. McAllister has quit my service. Alright, so, first thing you have to do in this box is, no, not go there, go on top of here and flip this open to reveal this, where you have to bring all these like glowing gemstones to your glowing point by messing with the view on your camera, which is a really cool feature, I might add. And then it unlocks this, which has a rainbow hue again, so that means you used your eyepiece. And here comes the first of many perspective puzzles across the room 1 and 2. So to do this perspective puzzle, you just have to line it up like so. And then it reveals a keyhole, and this is when you can finally use your cast iron key. Just twist it so that it fits, it goes in, it unlocks these latches, you can open the drawer to a small cabinet key, and there's a keyhole right here. So you put the keyhole in, twist it, and then you get an enameled brass star. And the keyhole extends, but more on that later. If you notice, there is a star-shaped indentation on the top of this box. This belongs here, and that unlocks a whole shish kebab of things up at the top. Another note as well. June 21st. Take a note of this date. It is the most significant in human history. I have done it. A human subject was required. The catalyst was my own being. Fatigued by my studies, I entered the chamber without disabling the mechanism. When I regained consciousness, I had succeeded. The null element is beyond curious, being neither quite energy nor matter. I have already made great strides in its study, specifically in how it refracts the light. Tonight, I open the wine. Note 3 of 7. So that's interesting. You look around and you see all these knights have weapons, right? Only the gold one does not, and this will become prominent later in the puzzle, so remember this. You get this, which is a brass ring with markings around the edge, and that is used for the side of this box, and then you have a little safe dial puzzle. And the solution to that is this one, this one, go back here, this, go back here, and go back here, kind of make loops. And then you have a code that we don't know. But if we use the eyepiece, we see 2 and 5. So let's implement 2 and 5, and lo and behold, it works to make the key that we need for this. Now, this is obviously a key that we need to reshape to make this shape. So, this, I kinda don't have any tips for this one. This is mostly a trial and error one. Does that work? No, the key doesn't fit the shape. Oh, that's why, because I need to reverse this. And now it's this shape. And now you can turn it, and then you get a circular plate with a star emblem, which goes into the hole of the gear symbol. So you put that in, it makes that disc go away, and it opens the second seal. The second seal is open. Just one more to go. Alright, now you have this clock machinery, right? The first thing you do for this is you go to the side of the box, see all these gears, flip this so that this gear goes to the other side, and wind this up, and you notice it takes that up, which reveals a whole nother layer to this box. The next puzzle is this. You realize there's a drawer that you can't open because these are in the way and you can't rotate them. Or can you? Because if you notice in the background, if I play with this, it reshapes this as well. So now I have that corner unlocked. So you do this with every single one. Do this with every single one until you are able to get it loose. The square symbol is up here, so you do this, and then you look back here, and it's done. All you need is the triangle symbol. The triangle symbol is right over here. This is a bit tricky because you kind of have to flip it up and flip it back down again. But voila, we can open this now. Actually, no, we can't. I screwed up the hexagon one by accident. It's meant to go like this. Now we can open this to get a large cog and an elastic band. What you use the large cog for is here, and then you can wind this up again to make this go up, get the first gear, and unlock a small screwdriver. You use the small screwdriver for the screws in it here. You have to do all 4 of them. And then it unlocks this, where if you notice, it stops once you hold this button, but it continues once you stop holding the button. And the way you can avoid this is by stopping, making none of the gears connect so that it can't go again. And then you get a peculiar folding key for this puzzle right here. Right here, and how you solve this is you match the puzzle by doing this, getting this over here, getting this, and this over here, like so. And then you can open this and get a medium-sized cog. You place this here, but it does something different this time. It says it feels like I can take this off again if I need to, which I can, but for now let's put this gear back over here and let's raise the second one to make the second gear turn to unlock another medium-sized cog. And then you can do this. And you take this one off and you do this with it. But if you notice, it doesn't really reach. Well, that's what we have the elastic band for. Now the gears can reach. Activate the third gear, making this operable. So you press this, and then you get this thing, which is a long, narrow steel tube. You investigate it, open the top, it has some kind of small key in it. Also, an old photograph that on the back, it has Revelation 605 on the back of this. So, more on that later. We have a small cabinet key that goes to here. You twist this, and there's that rainbow hue again, which means use your eyepiece. And it's another one of these perspective puzzles. That you complete like so. And then you get a small silver shield, which is used for the knight that doesn't have anything. Remember this guy? You place it here, and then you get a oval gemstone. And you use it on this little spot on the clock where it says, it's hard to tell what exactly, but something is missing here, which is the oval gem. You use that, then you used your eyepiece, and now you have to find a time. And if you remember, the picture had the time 6:05 on it. So, you put in 6:05, and voila, it retracts back into its box. The third seal is opened, and we have completed this chapter. Guys, if you liked this video, please give a like. It really helps a small creator like me. And yeah, subscribe for more content like this. See ya!